Hey, Lacey here from Pearly Lace Crochet. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this peppermint. I like peppermints year-round, but they just always remind me of Christmas. So I just came up with a really quick pattern to just make a Christmas decoration. You can string it on a garland. You can place them in a bowl or on a plate or in a jar. You can even make little ornaments out of them. They are very, very quick and easy to work up. They are a little messy on the back, but not too bad. So you might want to just keep them flat and just have only the front showing. But alright, well, let's get started. Here you will need white yarn and red yarn. I haven't tried it in a different weight of yarn, but I suggest worsted. And then you need a size 8 or H crochet hook. You need some scissors or some yarn snips and a yarn needle. Okay, so I'm using this size hook because we're not going to be stuffing it, so it doesn't really matter if your stitches are a little bit bigger and looser or you have holes in it. You actually want them looser because we're going to be threading the red yarn through it. Okay, so we're going to start with a magic circle. Okay, and then chain 1. And then do 6 single crochets in the circle. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna close up your circle. Just grab that tail and pull it closed. Make sure it's closed all the way. And then we're gonna do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So then we're gonna have 12 single crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And as you can see, the magic circle kind of opened up a little bit, or the hole from that opened up a little bit, so I just pull it tight to make sure it's all closed. And I always tie a double knot as close to the base as possible. So that's 1 and 2. And then we can go ahead and cut that off so it doesn't get in our way. Okay, so now you can use a stitch marker if you want to, just to keep track, but this is so quick and easy, and I just count the stitches because all you're going to need to do is count to 12. So I just count all the way around. So we're going to do 1 row of 1 single crochet in each stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whoops, 11, and 12. And now it's going to start to curl inwards. You don't want that, so we're going to flip it back the right way. Okay, now we're going to do another row of 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So that's 2 rows of just 1 single crochet in each stitch. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, now all you're going to do is do a single crochet decrease. So you're just going to go all the way around with decreases and end up with 6 stitches. So that was 1, 2, 3, and now make sure your work is curling backwards now. You don't want it to curl the other way. So it was 3, 4, 5, and the last one, 6. Okay, so now just go directly across. Doesn't matter exactly which stitch, but just close it up. So do a slip stitch through one of the stitches that are just directly across from it. Cut your yarn, pull that all the way through, and then knot it off. Now you can just leave it like that, or you can take your tail, as long as you have a long enough tail, and sew that closed just a little bit more. Or you can even do a couple of slip stitches with your hook before you knot it off. I'm just gonna go through, grab that one right there, pull it tight, and just go back through here and knot that off. Okay, now we can weave this in and cut off the tail. Okay, so now that part is done. You just want to make sure that your 6 single crochets at the beginning there, you want to make sure they are in the center. So you just kind of have to play with it a little bit and just flatten it out. Okay, now you take your red yarn. You want about 20 to 21 inches, 22, somewhere around there, just to make sure you have enough. It's better to have too much than not enough, but really all I do is just measure from one end of this, loop back around, and come back to there. So I measure this twice and then just cut a little bit extra, and that's always enough for me. Okay. So now we need our needle. We're going to thread that through the needle. Okay, and now make sure you're on the back. That's the messy side. You're gonna go right above. This is gonna be your finishing round here. You want to leave that part white. So we're gonna go in just about that stitch right there, any stitch above that. Okay, we're gonna secure it. You want to make sure that you go upwards, like the direction of the stripe. Why is this not? Okay, there we go. You want to go in the direction of the stripe, just in case this does get flipped around or anything. Okay, now you're going to weave that in later, or you can do it now if you want, but I just wait till at the end. Okay, so now you're going to take your working yarn, and match it up to the front. I don't have an exact match, so we're just going to go in this one right here. I don't know if you can see that, get close enough. And we're just going to go into this front stitch. Now remember, we're leaving the middle white, so that is where our beginning 6 single crochets are. So you're going to go into that 1 single crochet. You're going to pull that pretty snug. You don't want it tight, but just snug. And I went right back through that same stitch in the back where I knotted my tail. Okay, or where I secured it. Okay, and then I'm going to do a double line, so right next to that. Go back through the same front stitch, but I'm going to put it on an angle and come out through the back in the next stitch. Pull that all the way through and pull that. Sorry, I'm going off camera. It's hard with a phone standing in my way. Okay, so we're going to pull that snug, and now you have a double line there. And since we came out to the next stitch here, you're going to wrap it around the front and go through the stitch in the front, go back through that same stitch in the back, pull it snug, wrap it back around, going through the same stitch in the front, put it on an angle, and go through the next stitch in the back. It's fairly easy. It seems a little complicated, but it's actually really easy when you're doing it. Pull that snug, then turn it and wrap this around, and come through the front, through that same stitch, pull it snug, wrap it around, go through the front, put it on an angle, and come through the back in the next stitch. So you're going to do that all the way around until you have 6 stripes. Okay, so I've done all 6 stripes except this last one here. I'm just going to finish it off, sticking through the through that front stitch, going through the back, and then I'm just going to wrap it around that last stripe that I just did and knot it off. Okay, and then stick it through there and just weave it in, and then the beginning tail. I'll weave that in. All right, and then cut those off. And your peppermint is done. I have a little bit of my tail is sticking out here. So I'm just gonna poke that in. And it might be a little bit crooked. I mean, candy is not perfect most of the time, especially peppermints. So it might not be perfect, but you can always still move them around even after it's all done. Just try to make sure that the yarn is just pushed together so you don't see any white there, so it looks like one solid stripe, but no big deal. It's just crocheted, and candy is not perfect. So there you go. There's your cute little peppermint, and Merry Christmas.